Hey, great talk. Good evening, I'm Gregg, and I get to be the president of NDU, which just is amazing. If you ever get asked, I know there's some students out there in the group, if you ever get asked, hey, do you want to be the president of NDU, your immediate answer should be yes. It is such a great place. Thanks, Kathleen. And I actually have a prepared speech, but Kathleen covered most of what I was going to say, and it was really good, way better than me. So I'm just going to share a few thoughts with you tonight. There's a great quotation at another institution that much of the history we teach was made by people we taught. And that applies to NDU, and it applies to General Scowcroft, who we're going to talk about tonight. But just thinking about you, sir, in your life, what you have done, your wisdom, your knowledge as a distinguished two-time NDU grad, because he also went to what is known now as the Joint Forces Staff College, which is one of our 5 schools. But the things that you have done, we are learning those lessons. They are in the curriculum today. I mean, you are an inspiration, all that you have done in your life. Moreover, many of us in this room, it's really personal. When you think about our service, I entered the Army in the 70s, and the Army that I served in, our military, you created the strategies and set the environment for what we did, what we achieved as a nation for the last few decades. So I feel personally connected and indebted to you and many of the other very distinguished people in this room. So what a special night. By the way, we had a fantastic day today at NDU. We had our NDU Foundation board. By the way, NDU Foundation board, please just stand up so we can recognize you. What a great group of Americans, leaders. Thank you so very much. But we had a magnificent day, and we basically tore open the curtains and just, talked all about NDU, how to make it better, how to connect with you, the leaders and captains of industry. And I'd also like to say thank you, all those from industry, from business, who are here supporting this and supporting NDU through our foundation. I want to say personally and professionally, thanks so much. And if those who are here in that capacity, if you just stand, I would like to personally thank you on behalf of all of NDU. Any of you captains of industry, leaders who have come up here and contributed, please stand and be recognized. We couldn't do it without you. Very modest leaders. But we've also got people from all across NDU. We have students here, faculty, researchers, all kinds of folks who make NDU the national and international treasure that it is, that makes NDU really the premier university in the world for national security studies. So I just want to thank each of you for coming out tonight and for who you are and for what you do to make our NDU the institution that it is. This group tonight and what we're here to do really underscores the importance of teamwork. And Kathleen covered it well. We are a team of teams. So at NDU, our students, our faculty, everything that we do, the teams that we're a part of to do national security when our graduates leave, we're joint, all services, interagency, multinational. We must team with academia, with industry, as well as with the private sector. So this idea of teamwork, it is ever more important, and especially in our current fiscal environment, because the speed, the pace of technology and change, the complexity of the world, the ends and the strategic output that we expect of our students, our graduates, continues to rise, really at an exponential rate. Meanwhile, resources are going down. So what do we need to do? We need to innovate, we need to create, we need to span boundaries and partner and team with the best and brightest minds in the world, many of which are here in this room tonight. So I want to say again, thank you for your teamwork, your partnership, more important than ever. Just a word about NDU. First, come visit us. If you have not been to your National Defense University, please come see us. I want you to meet our students, go into the seminar rooms, meet the faculty, meet our researchers, meet our staff. It's the most motivated, professional, hard-working bunch of patriots you will ever see. And I would love to get you into the classroom. I think you'll walk away inspired, and you'll figure out new ways to collaborate and even create better ways to do what we do, which is to educate, develop, and inspire leaders. And these leaders aren't just any leaders. They're going to go out and work at the strategic level to provide national and international security. And sort of the why of NDU, to me, is to create leaders who can imagine, create, and then secure a stronger peace, which is exactly what General Scowcroft has done for decades. And this idea of peace, it really goes back to our founding father, Elihu Root, 1903, Teddy Roosevelt Hall, where our War College is currently located. Elihu Root was a great man of peace, but he was the Secretary of War at the turn of the century. And the big idea behind the War College was not to promote war, but to preserve peace. And Elihu Root went on, he was an architect of America's military and economic might, and he was a great man of peace. As Secretary of State, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize later in his career. So that's why NDU exists. What we do every day, we work hard at educating, developing mind, body, spirit, and inspiring the magnificent students that we get at NDU from all across the world. The students that we get are like General Brent Scowcroft when he was a lieutenant colonel. I'll just use him as an example because he embodies and personifies who we are, what we do, and why we do it. We get great young talent who come and they are motivated, they've had experience up to about the 15, 20-year point, and then we dip them into the wonderful, rich academic environment we have at NDU. We stretch them intellectually up to the strategic level. They're in a situation where they're developing lifelong friends, partners, relationships from all over the world. And you heard Kathleen talk about, we have international leaders from 66 countries. And so this immersion at NDU, we increase their wisdom, we develop their ethical decision-making and their character, and we help them to become even stronger for the tough jobs that they're going to do as senior leaders. So we work on emotional resiliency, physical fitness, and sort of the strength of the steadfastness, the perseverance to do this tough work at the strategic level. But on top of all that, and inherent to it are the relationships. So when students leave NDU, they have a lifetime network of the best friends they will ever have. And they can, in these tough jobs all around the world, when you're faced with these incredibly complex problems, and you didn't even know that the problem existed, you don't know the answer. A lot of this, you're figuring it out on the fly because we've helped develop their intellect, their wisdom to frame questions and problems, to figure out what is the question. How do I learn about whole new things that I didn't even know what the thing was? And one of the big ways we do that is relationships. So that our graduates can pick up the phone in the dark of night and at the speed of trust, talk to a friend, a faculty member, a classmate from National Defense University, and figure it out, cut through layers of bureaucracy, and make good things happen to preserve and protect our freedom, our liberty, our security. So that's kind of what we do. And we do it. How do we do it? Our main campus is right here at Fort McNair. Okay, wonderful historic post, goes back to 1791. If you haven't been there, please come and visit. I'd love to see any of you. We also have campuses down at Norfolk, Virginia, where our Joint Forces Staff College is. It's mostly intermediate level education. And one I'm very excited about is Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where we teach strategic leadership and education, which is an initiative of our Special Operations Command, Admiral Bill McRaven, to junior leaders. This is a disruptive, game-changing paradigm. We have young captains, O3s, staff sergeants, sergeant first classes, and warrant officers who are hungry for education. And these are kids, literally, I mean, like the age of my kids, in their 20s, who have done multiple combat tours, have worked in the interagency, have been embedded with Afghan and Iraqi units all around the world, et cetera, and they are hungry, motivated. How can I get some of that NDU education? We are pushing it down to them. This is really cool. So if you want to go visit that down at Fort Bragg, we can also line that up for you. So we're here to honor General Scowcroft. You, sir, really embody what we're about. And so the short message to our students, and by the way, we inducted him into our NDU Hall of Fame today. Wonderful event. We had Colin Powell, General Powell was there and spoke. That was really neat. But General Scowcroft's picture hangs proudly in the entranceway to George Marshall Hall. And our students will pass by it, And the message to our students is very simple. Be like General Scowcroft. And the message to our faculty is very simple. Develop leaders who are going to be like General Scowcroft. Wise, character, inspired, strong, compassionate, and humble. And sir, we're going to talk all about you tonight, but you've lived a life of significance. You contribute every day to what we do at NDU. You come back, you teach, you lecture, you continue to pass the torch of wisdom and inspiration that really is you. So I want to just talk about, I'm going to close with a story, and then I'm going to get off stage so we can eat. But it's really all about trust. That's really what this is about. Those young troopers who came out here with the colors, all the different services, they trust us, the senior leaders. We trust them to do the right thing. The American people trust all of us, up, down, sideways. And I had the opportunity, it was a little bit over a year ago, I had the opportunity to go and say farewell prior to their departure to combat of a Green Beret. It was an Army Special Forces unit. And it was really cool. I got to see these guys and meet them. And this is a group of 12 Special Forces guys. And they were getting ready to go to Afghanistan. And I was introduced to them in my previous job. I was actually the commandant of the Army War College. And I gave them coins. I just have one of them with me. This is sort of a military tradition, this really neat coin. So I gave coins to these sergeants, these young troopers getting ready to go into combat off in Afghanistan. And I asked them, I said, hey, do you have any message for the senior leaders that I get to teach and instruct and so forth? And they said, yeah, tell them we're counting on them to develop really good strategy so that when we go over here and do this stuff, we're going to be well taken care of, and we're doing it for a good reason. I said, hey, General, just so you remember us, we don't have any coins because, we're too low ranking. We're not as illustrious as you, a general. But it was really neat. These guys, they pulled the patches off their uniforms. And I carry them with me every day. And they said, hey, General, we would be honored if you would take this. And so these guys, they pulled the patch off. This is an Army Green Beret Special Forces patch. So these dudes, they pulled it off, and they shook my hand and said, General, you take this and remind all those guys you work with, we are counting on them to lead us wisely, take care of us. And then one guy pulled off his pin, De Oppresso Liber, Free the Oppressed, Army Green Berets. It's the same of all the services. And then these guys were actually embedded with an Afghan commando unit in the toughest part, the Haqqani Network area, and they lived, ate, and slept, these 12 guys, with 100-plus Afghanis for a year in combat. And they learned to sleep with one eye open, and amazing. So I got to know these guys and keep in touch with them. So fast forward. I got to see these guys when they got home just about a month ago. And 2 of them didn't make it. Great guys, 2 phenomenal staff sergeants. And I welcomed them home. And you know what they said? They said, wow, you're at NDU now? These guys had just come back from combat. They had taught themselves Pashto. They were fired up. They want to learn strategic stuff. They pulled out their iPads and their little phones. And they're Googling NDU. Okay, General, how can I get some of that? I want to learn it. I want to tap into your lectures. I want to hear all this stuff. So, pretty neat. They trust us. I see that's what we do. We develop the leaders who are going to develop the strategy, the programs, the policy, get the equipment to take care of these magnificent troopers who defend us. So that's what we really are all about at NDU, developing leaders like General Scowcroft, full circle of life. And I called one of the guys I know really well. I actually called him today. I said, hey, I'm going to be at this big event for General Scowcroft and all these huge captains of industry. I said, you got any message for them? And this is a staff sergeant. You should see the pictures from Afghanistan. Big beard, out there with the Afghans. And he said, yeah, tell them from all the boys in his team, his Special Forces team who just got back, they say, thank you, keep up the great work, and they're counting on each and every one of you. And so I want to tell you, thank you from the bottom of my heart and from NDU. Thanks for who you are, what you do. I look forward to getting to meet and know you and work with you to make this place even better. So thanks very much. And now I'm going to get to introduce a true soldier's chaplain, Chaplain Sampson. Here he is. Thanks.